When I see parents get upset, I'm like, I know what they're going through. I've been there. You're just at your wit's end. You're tired of the same problems happening over and over again, and you don't have the answers. There's ways to do things better. There's ways to be less stressed out. There's ways to feel more capable and confident as a parent. There's ways to have more tools and more options at your disposal.
You can have all these strategies, but in the end, the thread is just like, how do you connect with your kids in a way that is genuine and they want to and you want to, and the time you put in now will give you hopefully that connection when they're adults. That's what I've most appreciated.
It opened both of our eyes into what we could do to be better parents, like what our kid was going through. So that kind of set a foundation for us having more conversations down the road about parenting and what we want to do as parents.
I really want to express my gratitude for changing our family life, and everyone just feels so much calmer and more loving in our home.
It's amazing how parents can find the strength and the courage to address some of the hardest, deepest, most impactful problems that they're having with their kids. And I just so admire them for stepping into the work, being willing to learn, and really showing up day after day after day for their children.
There's just was a lot of yelling in our house. Us yelling at each other, us yelling at the children yelling at each other, just sort of, yelling.
You're upset, you're not in a good place. Days are already longer when you have kids and you're at work, and like that time after work together is like hopefully a good time, but when you have to recover from feeling in a bad mood, either because you feel bad because you yelled at your kids or yelled at each other, it just impacts the relationship.
It was stressful. Like, I just didn't want to be like constantly worrying about like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing something harmful? Am I giving her the support that she needs to really grow up and be like, a capable, resilient young person?
Felt like I was out of control and the house was out of control. I felt powerless, as well as my husband and I being at odds as to how to deal with the situation.
What I've found is that when parents start to gather strategies and tools, they can hit a little bit of a roadblock where they're like, okay, but now how do I implement these things? And that's where like the coaching and mentoring process gets really interesting, because then I get to sort of hold their hands through scenarios and role plays where it's actually now playing out in life. So, you actually have a mentor to kind of jam with and troubleshoot with, go try it, come back, report back, and troubleshoot some more. And that's where the really interesting breakthroughs happen.
We're talking about a scenario, you're in a restaurant, your kid's flipping out, are we going to have to leave? What are we going to do? Which, has happened. And so she was sort of modeling for us what you could be saying. And she was saying, honey, if you're not able to get control of your body, I feel like we're really just going to have to leave. Maybe I wouldn't want to do that. But if we're not able to kind of calm down a bit, I guess that's what we're going to need to do. Like, okay, sweetie. When she said it like that, and I was thinking, oh, she doesn't sound angry. Like, when she's saying that, I have never delivered such a message like in that sort of tone. My kind of epiphany was that there's no real reason for me to be angry. Realizing that there's a space between when something happens and when I react to that thing, that there's a place in between those two things where I can actually have some control over what my reaction is going to be and how I'm going to take that in.
You feel like you had a little victory,
yeah,
instead of a failure.
Instead of the sad feeling.
Right, which feels pretty good.
It's not an accident that I want to create group learning experiences. Having been a classroom teacher for 15 years and a facilitator of adult learning for a decade now, when you get people together, there's like this masterminding process that happens where people are able to ask their questions and get them answered. And just by listening to other people's questions and challenges and being able to pull from their experiences, you learn so much more. It's such a richer experience.
One of the biggest benefits of doing group work is the fact that you realize you're not alone. Like, you realize that other people are going through similar things. You're not a unique situation. Most of the time, your problems are very common.
And it was nice to hear other people's struggles and how they deal with them, and also have Vanessa talk them through their struggles. It was nice to hear how other people apply the principles into their lives, or suggestions that other people in the group had for each other, because I might not be going through that situation at that exact moment, but I could definitely remember or draw back on that experience later on when I may run across that.
I've put the time in to find resources that work for me, and I don't have to be like searching for them anymore.
The biggest thing is having that toolbox of what to do in your back pocket, because things are constantly changing with kids. And when I tried them at home, they actually did work. And so I was thinking, yeah, you know, like I'm seeing progress, so let me try to keep up with this.
You know, I went home from that seminar and I tried it with my kids and it worked.
What really blew me away with this work is seeing parents not only improve in their parenting, but for this to ripple out into all areas of their life.
The lessons I learned here are not just applicable for children, it's applicable for like your relationships with your family members, with your coworkers, with your friends. I mean, it's just common sense tools of how to relate to people.
At the end of the day, it's not just about handling a meltdown or getting out of a power struggle. It's about building a lifelong relationship, one built on mutual respect, trust, love, and appreciation.
Being reminded of creating connection with my kids. Thanks to that mindset that, you know, ideally I'll be able to keep connecting with my daughters into their adulthood.
We want to do right by our kids. We want to make sure they grow up to be like healthy, functioning, strong people. We want to make sure that they contribute to, you know, our community, that they're good to other people, that they're good to themselves. So I think it's like giving them those like interpersonal and soft skills to be healthy and thriving adults.
And because of it, I'm having better relationships with my kids.